This call is now being recorded.
Good morning, friends. Today we are going to talk about computation of total income and the format. So the discussion will revolve on the subject matter format of computation of total income from all the sources under the Income Tax Act 1961. So what is the format which we have to follow in order to find out the total income from all the sources? So this is the first part of the format as far as computing of total income from all the sources, whether it is income from salary, income from house property, capital gains, income from other sources, and profit and loss from business or profession. Okay, so let's take one by one. So first one is you have to find out and show what is the total taxable salary income here in the column. Next one is whether there is a house property income or loss. This is second. Third one is profits or gains from business or loss under the head profits or gains from business. And the fourth one is capital gains, whether it is a short-term capital gain or a long-term capital gain. And finally, income from other sources. Income from other sources. So for example, you got a salary income, a taxable salary income of 10 lakh rupees. Number one. Number two, income from house property of 2 lakh rupees. And profits from business is 3 lakh rupees. And capital gains of 4 lakh rupees. And income from other source of 5 lakh rupees, for example. So you have to total all this. Total all this. And there, see, in this case, there is a profit under all the sources, but sometimes it so happens that there can be a loss under this four: income from house property, loss from conduction of business or profession, short-term capital gain, short-term capital loss, or long-term capital loss, or income from other sources. There can be a loss. So that loss also is to be shown, and subsequently set off and carry forward of losses can be has to be done. Now I have dedicated and prepared a separate video on the chapter set off and carry forward of losses, and the video has been uploaded on YouTube, and I recommend you and request you to get a detailed information about the chapter or topic set off and brought forward losses or carry forward of losses. So for example, in this case, after set off, this is the situation, and the total income is some 20 lakh rupees. For example, 10 plus 2, 12, 12 plus 3, 15, 15 plus 9, 24 lakh rupees. Now, after you have found out the total income, it's time for some deductions. Deduction under chapter 6A. So we'll be talking in detail what are the items which will come under chapter 6A deduction. So I have dedicated a separate slide for it. So the deduction can be deducted from this gross total income, number one. Number two is you have any deductions under section 10A, 10B, and 10BA and allied, then you can deduct from this 24 lakhs. And after you deduct from gross total income, deductions under chapter 6A and deductions under 10A, 10B, and 10BA, you will get a total income or taxable income of 24 lakh rupees minus this deductions. After these deductions, you will get this figure of total taxable income. So after you arrive at this total taxable income, tax on total income, we will find out tax on total income. For example, I told you there is a slab like 0 to 2.5 lakhs, 2.5 lakhs to 5 lakhs, 5 lakhs to 2.5 lakhs to 5 lakhs, then 5 lakhs to 10 lakhs, 5 lakhs to 10 lakhs, and 10 lakhs above at the rate of 10 lakhs above at the rate of 0% here, 5% here. This is for the assessment year 2021, the slabs are. And for the guy who is not a senior citizen or a super senior citizen, or a normal person who is below the age of 60 and 30%. Now we have to find out the tax both at normal and specific rates. For example, in case of uh, long-term capital gains, the special rate is 20%. So that is what we are talking about. So after you find out uh, tax on total income, then you get a rebate on this tax on total income under section 87A. We have dedicated and devoted a separate slide on section rebate on section under section 87A. So at that time we will discuss about section 787A. So after you deduct that whatever is the permissible limit under rebate under section 87A, you will get tax after rebate. To this we have to add surcharges and cess to the tune of 4%, and you will get total tax, surcharges and cess as this particular figure. Now after that you will get relief under section, you can show or deduct relief under section 89, 90, 90A and 91, and and you have to add interest for any charges by the income tax department because of provisions 234A, 234B and 234C. So you have to add, and finally you will get total tax and interest paid or payable. From this tax amount what you are supposed to pay or paid, you can deduct TDS at source and TCS at source. You have a separate discussion on the topic tax deducted at source. And from after you have deducted tax deducted at source which you have already paid because of tax being deducted at source on various incomes earned by you, then finally you will be allowed to deduct any advance tax or self assessment tax paid by the assessee, and then you will get the balance tax payable, or if it is a case of a refund due, you can file for refund. So this is the format which has to be followed for computing the total income and the total tax paid and payable and all that stuff. Hope you have understood it. So now let's talk about this particular part, which is uh, rebate under section rebate under section 87A. Now, what do you mean by rebate under section 87A? So deduction under section 87A or rebate under section 87A of Income Tax Act 1961, sorry. We will now discuss about that. So what is rebate under section 87A? So first we have to find out income from salary, income from house property, income from business, income from capital gains, and income from other sources. So this is the gross total income, and from we have done some numerical problems on all incomes, and this particular income from all sources, the video is uploaded on my YouTube channel. You can refer this YouTube video on YouTube for further information and knowledge on how to compute gross total income. Number one. Number two, after you have found out gross total income, you have to deduct certain deductions under section 80C, 80D, 80E, 80, so on and so forth up to 80U. Okay, so there is a separate video which has been which is the one which covers the deductions under section 80C to 80U, which is already uploaded on YouTube, and you can get an understanding and overview about these sections by downloading and visiting my video on this particular topic. So after gross total income, you deduct whatever is the amount invested or eligible under section 80C, 80CC, triple C, 80 double C B, 80D, 80DD, 80 double E, and so on and so forth up to 80U. So you will get, after you have deducted the gross total income from gross total income, the amount which are eligible under section 80C to 80U, you will get total taxable income. Now, on this total taxable income, you will find out using the tax slabs, what is the total tax to be paid. So this is the total tax to be paid. Now, tax rebate under section 87. This tax rebate is eligible, can be claimed by those SSCs if the total income is less than or equal to 5 lakhs. So if this particular amount is less than or equal to 5 lakh rupees, then you are eligible for rebate under section 87A of Income Tax Act 1961. Okay, so this is limited up to rupees 12,500. So you deduct 12,500, and then you will come to know what is your tax liability, and add on this one surcharges like 4% on secondary or higher education cess and health cess, and this is the net tax payable by the assessee for the said financial year or assessment year. So the emphasis as far as this particular slide is concerned is about section 87A. 87A allows a deduction up to rupees 12,500 from tax if the total income of the assessee, total taxable income of the assessee, as shown in this particular format, where you will come to know what this is the total taxable income. If this total taxable income is less than 5 lakh rupees for the financial year 2019-20, then you are eligible to get a deduction of maximum amount of 12,500 rupees. For example, in this case, if the total income is 4 lakh rupees, so this guy is having a total income of less than 5 lakh rupees, and he is eligible for tax rebate under section 87A to the maximum ceiling of 12,500. So let's see how much tax he has to pay. So I told you the tax slabs for the person, assuming this guy is assessee whose age is less than 60 years. So 0 to 2.5 lakhs, already it is nil. Already I told it is nil. Is nil. Number one. Number two, 2.5 lakhs to 4 lakhs. The difference is how much? 1.5 lakh rupees. 1.5 lakh into 5 percentage into 5 percentage is 7,500. So this is the tax he has to pay, plus surcharge on this one is 4%, which is 7,300. So the total tax payable as far as slab rate of income tax calculations are concerned is 7,800. So after we have calculated that income tax by using this tax slab rates, we came to know that the total tax payable by him is 7,800. But there is a tax rebate to the extent of 12,500. But in this case, the tax payable is less than 12,500. So that 7,800 is rebate which he is eligible for, and he has to pay nothing, and surcharge on this nothing is also 0. So this is the importance of section 87A. So section 87A states that if an assessee's total income is less than or equal to 5 lakh rupees, then he is eligible for a tax deduction to the maximum tax rebate under section 87A to the maximum of 12,500 rupees. 12,500 rupees. So hope you have understood. Now, apart from this, we will be talking about 89 also, because in the format I showed you that there is a relief under section 89, 90, 90A and 91. So we have already discussed about this. Now let's talk about this part of our discussion, relief under section 89, 90, 98, 90A and 91. So what do you mean by section 89? Section 89. This is very important. Section 89 is very important. Section 89 is relief under section 89 of Income Tax Act 1961. And let's go into the details of relief under section 89. So if any individual receives any portion of his salary in arrears or in advance, or receives profit in lieu of salary, then he can claim relief in terms of section 89. No, so there are some steps which have to be followed to get the relief amount from tax. So what does this section primarily speaks about? For example, 2018-19 and 2019-20 are two assessment financial years. In this case, the assessee got 2000 in the year 2018-19. The total salary income and the total salary income is 2.5 lakh rupees, and there is no other income. And he had invested some amount of money in section 80C eligible avenues of investments like PPF and so on and so forth. So his total taxable income was 50,000 rupees. So after slabs, there is no tax, because 0 to 2.5 lakhs and all that stuff, if you calculate, there is no tax liability. Now, in the year 2019-20, his salary income was 6 lakh rupees. And on top of it, in during the year 1920, whatever were the arrears of 2018-19 and previous years, some 2 lakh rupees was the arrear salary which he received in the financial year 2019, which were arrears of the previous years. Now, if the same amount would have been received in this year, then, for example, he has received 1 lakh rupees, for example, arrears of 2018-19. If you add here this 3.5 lakh rupees, the total income would have been 1.5 lakh rupees, and there is no tax. But however, he has received this in the current financial year. Now his total income has become 7 lakh rupees, and if you calculate the slabs, then he is supposed to pay on this 1 lakh rupees also tax. Whereas in this case, if you show this 1 lakh as the income of this year, he was not supposed to pay tax. So he is now taxed because these arrears were received in. So he gets relief under section 89 by proper calculations. So there are some steps to be followed to claim that relief under section 89 for arrears received of the previous years, arrears of salary received in previous years, or advance salary received in the current of the next year in the current year, or any receipts in the form of profit in lieu of salaries. He can claim relief under section 89. So let's take a small example which I have got it from some income tax website, and there was a prominent question and problem which was faced by a assessee. Now the assessee is a government employee. He has been working since 2010. Due to some admin error, his natural Annual increments were not sanctioned for 6 years. For example, from 2010 he is working, but 2010, 2011, 2012, so on and so forth. For 6 years, there was no annual increments because of some technical errors committed by the concerned person, or some technical problems were there. Now, in the current year, after 6 years, it has been sanctioned. The arrears of the previous years or increments as sanctioned. An amount of 1.5 lakh was received after 6 years in the current financial year. Now, my annual income, he says that his annual income for the year 2016-17 comes to rupees 4.5 lakhs, which consists of this 1.5 lakhs also. So, because of this, what has happened? He is supposed to pay tax of this one on this one also. But there is a relief which he can claim under section 89. Now, further the information goes, my gross salary from 2011 was around 2.5 lakh rupees, and because his gross salary was 2.5 lakh rupees, he is not within the within the slab, and he is not supposed to pay tax. I have not filed ITR, he is telling. So now, can he get a relief under section 89 or not is the question. And form 16 was not issued by the employer because his total salary income was less than 2.5 lakhs, or the tax slab, sorry. Now the answer is yes, you will be eligible for relief under section 89, and you will have to, that assessee has to fill a form which is form E, 10E, very important one. So the format you can download it from internet. With these details, then submit it to the employer to claim this relief. Keep your salary slips handy to provide as proof of receipts of the arrear. So this is the way you can claim rebate under section 89 for arrears of salary received in the current year, or advance salary of the current year, advance salary received of the next year, and any receipts in the form of profits in lieu of salary. Now, these are the steps to be followed. So, it will not be appropriate to just read out this slide or information from of this slide. I will take a small numerical problem, and then we will calculate how much he can get rebate under section 89. So the problem is in front of you, and this problem I have downloaded from a particular website. The details of the website is here. This is the details from where this particular information has been uh, extracted. So this is the website from where this particular information has been extracted. So with this numerical example, we will understand how to calculate that amount of rebate under section 89. So here the problem goes like this. Total income of Suraj was 15 lakh rupees for the financial year 1920, and also he received during this year 1920 an arrear of 3 lakh rupees of the financial year 2018-19. So the arrear of salary of 2 lakh, year financial year 2018-19 was received in the financial year 2019 to the tune of additional 3 lakh rupees. So he will receive 15 plus 3, 8 lakhs, 18 lakhs, sorry. His total income in the financial year 18-19 was 6 lakhs. So if this particular area would have been paid in that financial year itself, then his total income would have been 9 lakh rupees. So with this given information, we have to find out, with this particular information, we will find out what is the total amount of relief or relief from tax as far as section 89 of Income Tax Act 1961 is concerned. So these steps you have to follow. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. So step 3 here, step 4, step 5, and step 6. And see how we can calculate the amount of rebate from tax he can claim. So this particular slide will help us to find out the tax rebate he can claim under section 89. So look at the headings. Salary, this is a financial year 1920. This is financial year 1819, and salary inclusive of arrears of the 2019-20 is inclusive. So inclusive means 15 lakhs plus 3 lakhs, 18 lakhs. Salary excluding arrears is 15 lakhs because this is 15 lakhs. So now let's talk about financial year 2018-19. Salary inclusive of arrears and salary without arrears. Salary without arrears is 6 lakhs, and salary if arrears are included are 9 lakhs. Hope you have understood it. Now, every year the tax slabs are changing. For example, for the financial year 18-19, for a normal person whose age is equal to or less than 60 years, you know the tax rates are 2.5 lakhs. Is up to 2.5 lakhs is nil. 2.5 lakhs, 2.5 lakhs to 5 lakhs is 5 percentage. 5 lakhs to 10 lakhs is 20 percentage, and greater than 10 lakhs is 30 percentage. Plus, please remember surcharge and towards secondary and higher education cess is 4 percentage on the total amount of tax. So, with this tax slab in structure, this particular slide shows you the tax to be paid on 18 lakh rupees, the tax to be paid on 15 lakh rupees, the tax to be paid on 9 lakhs 25,000 rupees, the tax to be paid or payable on 6 lakh rupees. So I will show you one numerical illustration of how he has calculated on 18 lakh rupees the total tax, and for the rest you can do it on your own. So let's take this case. So up to 2.5 lakh rupees nil is nil, so 0. From 2.5 lakhs to 5 lakhs, 2.5 lakhs is there. You have to pay 5%, which is 12,500. So please remember, I have a separate video on tax rates, tax slabs, and computation of tax. So you can visit my YouTube channel and view the video on that particular topic or topic how to calculate tax, total tax liability using tax slab for 2019-20 financial year. Up next to 5 lakhs, you have to pay 20 percentage, which is 1 lakh. Now next over and above this total 10 lakh rupees, this is 8 lakhs. Okay, you have to pay, you have to pay 30%, which is 2,40,000. So 30%. So 5%, 0 first, second 5, third 20, and fourth is 30. So total now becomes 3,40,000, 3,52,500. 3,52,500. Now you have to pay on these 4% as surcharge and other cess, that is secondary and higher education cess. So 35, 3,52,500 into 4 percentage is roughly around 14,100. So 14,100. So you get these figures. Hope you got these figures. Yes, we got it. Now he has to pay income tax of this one, and on this income tax 4% cess, and total he has to pay for the financial year 2019-20 when you include arrears of the previous year in the current year. You have to pay 3,66,600. So hope you have understood up to this stage and there is no element of doubt in your mind up to this stage is concerned. Next one. In the similar fashion, in the similar way, we can calculate this after in the similar fashion as if as calculated. You can calculate the income tax liability of 2019-20 when arrears are not included. Similarly, you can find out the tax liability of 2018-19 when the salary is inclusive of arrears. And similarly, you can calculate the tax liability of 2018-90 when arrears are not included with the given background numerical illustration on calculation of income tax liability. Next step. Next step is next step is you have to deduct this amount from this amount. This amount has to be 2,73,000 should be deducted from 3,66,600. So if you remove from 3,66,000, 2,73,000, you will get 93,000, 93,600. So this is this figure. Hope you understood all these figures. And now after you have calculated this, you from this you have to deduct this to get this figure. So this is also clear. Next one. Next one is next one is now in the same way from this 96,200, from this 96,200 you have to deduct this 33,800 and you will get 62,400. 96,200 minus 33,800, you will get 62,400. So this also is clear and this also is clear. Now relief. Now we are going to talk about the amount of tax relief you can claim under section 89 of Income Tax Act is this amount. Now how did you get it? 93,600 minus 62,400, which is 31,200. 31,200. So this is the tax relief you will get. Now how much tax was supposed to be paid? You were supposed to pay this much. This current year you are supposed to pay 3,66,600 you have to pay. But how much is the tax relief you got from the calculations just now we have made? 31,200. So now you after tax relief your tax liability is 3,35,400. So this is the figure. So this is the tax payable after calculating rebate under section 89. So hope this particular discussion has helped you to how to calculate rebate under section 89 of Income Tax Act. Thank you. Now let's talk about the other deductions. So in the very first slide, I talked about deduction, and so we have seen until so far deductions under section 89 and deductions and rebate under section, sorry, relief under section 89 and rebate under section 87A. Now we are going to talk about deductions under chapter 6A and deductions under 10A, 10B and allied sections deduction. So now chapter 6A deductions and deductions under 10, section 10. So let's talk about deductions under chapter 1A for the assessment year 2019-20. Okay, let's start our discussion. Now, deductions under chapter 6th A for assessment year to 1920 speaks about deductions in respect of interest on housing loan. Deduction up to assessment year 2019-20. So what are the deductions in respect of interest on housing loan? Please remember, we had a separate session which was devoted for the chapter income from house property. Nearly we spoke about for 3 hours, and the three sessions, the videos are up. The such 3 hours videos on the session or on topic income from house property are uploaded on YouTube. And in that video, we have discussed about how to how much of interest on housing loan can be deducted for a self-occupied house property, and allied discussions related to income from house property. And this particular topic, interest on housing loan, was comprehensively discussed. So please visit my YouTube video on this particular topic, and you will get a lot of information. Still, I will give a part of the understanding towards interest on housing loan. Income Tax Act allows deduction to an individual under Section 24B for a self-occupied house property to the tune of interest on housing loan of 2 lakh rupees as deduction from income from house property. And apart from this, Section 80E also comes into picture for the interest paid on housing loan for the purpose of construction or purchase of a residential house property. Now, Section 24, what does it speak? It allows a aggregate deduction up to rupees 2 lakh in case of a self-occupied house property, whereas in case of a lettered house property, you can have a deduction up to 1.5 lakh rupees. Further, apart from this 1.5 lakh rupees, sorry, 2 lakh rupees, you can get or claim certain additional deductions under Section 80EE to the tune of another 50,000 rupees on interest on housing loan, subject to certain conditions to be followed. Now, what are these conditions to claim the deduction under Section 80EE? What are these conditions? So, these are the following conditions. The condition is the amount of loan should not exceed rupees 35 lakhs. So, the amount of loan which you have taken for the purpose of construction or purchase of the residential house property should not exceed 35 lakhs. It should be less than or equal to 35 lakhs, number one. Number two is the value of the residential house property should not exceed 50 lakh rupees. Number two. Number three, the associate should not own any residential house property on the date of sanction of the loan. So you should not have any other residential house property on the date on which the loan has been sanctioned. This is number three. Number four, the loan should be sanctioned by a approved financial institution or a bank during the tenure or period beginning from 1st April 2016 and ending on 31st March 2017. So if the loan is taken between this particular period and the loan amount is less than 35 lakhs and the house property value is less than 50 lakhs, and the assessee doesn't have any additional residential house property on the day on which this loan has been sanctioned, then he can claim additional interest on housing loan if at all. Then an amount of 50,000 can be claimed under Section 80EE, subject to the following conditions being fulfilled. Hope you have understood it. Now, on similar lines, we have we have deductions under Section 10A, 10AA, and 10B. So I will not go into the details, but I will just give you the uh, introduction of what are the deductions under Section 10A, 10AA, and 10B. Just I will read out the name of the deduction. The name of the deduction as far as 10A, 10AA, and 10BB is special provisions in respect of newly established undertakings in free trade zone, FTZ we call it. So there are some provisions in respect of tax provisions in respect of newly established undertakings in FTZ. In the similar fashion, special provisions in respect of newly established units in special economic zones, SEZs we call it, and special provisions in respect of newly established units which are 100% EOUs, which are called as export oriented units. Okay, if any undertakings are there, then if they are in SEZs, FTZs, and EOU 100%, so 10A, 10AA, 10B are applicable and suitable deductions can be claimed by the assessee. And last one is relief under section 90 and 91. So already in the format we have seen, if you remember section 90 and section 90 and 91. So here you can see section 90 and 91. So no, we have already seen 89. Now this is the time. It's the time to talk about deduction under last point, which is section 90 and section 90 and 91. So let's take up for discussion the importance of this section 90 and 91. Now what does 90 and 91 speak about? So if a person who is not is a resident in India, for example, Mr. X is a resident of India in any previous year, and in respect of his income accrued or arose outside India, has paid tax on such income in any country outside India. For example, Mr. X is a resident of India, and he has worked in other country for some part of the year, for example 2 months or so, and he has made some income of some X rupees, and he has paid on this X rupees of income tax to that country where he has earned income. So we are talking about that subject matter. Then such a person shall be entitled for deduction from income tax payable by him of such calculated amount on such doubly taxed income. Okay, so already he has paid tax in the other country. Now he has to pay again in this country because he is taking this income to this country, and we have a separate chapter called as residential status. Under residential status we discussed already about all these aspects. So again let's cover, if a person who is resident in India in any previous year, this is under residential status topic, in respect of his income or accrued or arose outside India, has paid tax on such income in that country outside India, he shall be entitled deduction from income tax payable by him of a sum calculated on such doubly taxed income. So under section 19, if the country in which the tax is paid has entered double taxation avoidance agreement, which is called as DTA, so with Government of India, section 90 is applicable. Under section 91, if the country in which the tax is paid has not entered into an agreement for DTA, DTAA with Government of India. So section 90 is if any country has arrangements of double taxation avoidance agreement with the Government of India. Section 91 is the country is not having any agreement with that country or with the Government of India. Under double taxation avoidance agreement, 91 comes into picture. So here in this case, relief under section A90 and 91 is lower of the following amounts: tax paid on double taxed income outside India, tax payable on double taxed income under income tax India, and among them whichever is lower is exempted from tax under section 90 and 91. So with this, I hope you have understood the format to be followed under the form under the computation of total income. If you have any doubts, you can mail your doubts on my email ID, or you can be in touch on my WhatsApp number shared on this on in this PPT on this particular slide. Thank you so much for your patience listening, and God bless. Best of luck.